Okay, here we are back again with more Dragon Age Origins. And we still have a lot of codex to go through, so we're gonna do that. I think I might come to the characters last. Oh, let's just sort of look through them. So sometimes character records get updated with things like, now we figured out Alistair is fascinated by magic, even as his life is defined by fighting its darker manifestations. He has a fondness for strange rune stones and figural studies of arcane creatures, which is just a fancy way of saying he likes action figures. We know about Queen Nora. Arendon Howe. Okay, so Arendon Howe, we met him briefly in a cutscene. The cutscene where Loghain recruited Zevran to kill Ariadne, our hero. He was the simpering guy who brought the crows into the picture, voiced by Tim Curry, none other than. The Arling of Amaranthine winds along the sinuous northeastern coast of Ferelden. The waking sea is known for its temper, and the storms that sweep in from the warmer northern waters are sudden and brutal. These are the lands of Rendon Howe. He was born during the occupation, and like many of the nobles at the time, joined Prince Merrick's rebels. He fought alongside young Bryce Cousland, future Tairn of Highever, and Leonis Bryland, future Arl of Southreach, at the bloody Battle of White River. It was the most catastrophic defeat of the entire occupation, from which only 50 rebel soldiers escaped alive. Although he was decorated for valor by King Merrick, Howe's abrasive manners have earned him almost universal dislike among his peers. He's a pretty nasty guy, actually, and we'll see as we go along just how nasty he can be. And if you play the Human Noble Origin, you know very early on exactly how nasty he can be, because he actually engineers the murder of the entire Cousland family, which is the family of the Human Noble. Irving's record has been updated to acknowledge the fact that he survived the Broken Circle quest and that he's going to rebuild, so that's great. And also we know now that Liliana enjoys, she likes symbols of Andraste's blessing, so anything that's sort of religious, related to religion is something that she would like. And this is more stuff about Loghain. Morrigan's critical eye is not reserved solely for others, knowing or not. She has a simple fondness for jewelry and is very particular about her appearance, so she likes shiny things. Wynn's talent became apparent early on, particularly her skill at healing magic. She was well liked by all her mentors and was recognized as an exceptionally gifted student. Even the Templars who watched her could not deny that she represented the best the Circle had to offer. She was an intelligent young woman who possessed a quiet confidence and maturity beyond her years. She spent many years mentoring apprentices within the Circle, and her peers thought so highly of her that she was asked to be First Enchanter Irving's successor, but she refused, saying that she had no desire to work in the upper echelons. When word reached the tower of King Caelin's call to arms, Wynn volunteered to go to Ostagar. Here's our new companions, Zevran. Between the Tevinter Imperium, Rivain, and the Free Marches sits the nation of Antiva. Although it possesses few resources of its own, Antiva's location makes it a center for trade in the north, and the capital, Antiva City, is the wealthiest in the world. Antiva has virtually no army. The monarchy is too weak to support one. Most Antivans would be hard-pressed even to name the current king, as the true power lies in the hands of a dozen merchant princes, each with a personal army, and each locked in a constant struggle for power against all the others. Anyone would think, then, that Antiva would be a ripe target for invasion by one of her neighbors, but even the Kunari leave Antiva alone for one very good reason: the House of Crows. The most efficient, most feared, and most expensive guild of assassins in the world calls Antiva their home, and their reputation alone defends the borders. Zevran was the crow contracted by Loghain to assassinate Alistair and Ariadne. One failed attempt later, however, he found himself at the mercy of his would-be victims. They showed him unexpected mercy, and in return, he swore to aid the Wardens on their quest to end the Blight. And here's Shelv's record. The golems of Orzammar once made up the vanguard of the dwarven army, holding back the tides of darkspawn that flooded out of the deep roads, but the art of making them was lost, and many of them succumbed to wear and damage in battle. Shale has no memories, either of the time spent fighting in the deep roads or of coming to Honleith, only a few spotty and bitter recollections of its last master. Ariadne unearthed Shale's control rod and awakened it, adding a bitter, malfunctioning golem to the menagerie of companions. Yay! A merry band of ragtag do-gooders. I think I read The Adventures of Black Fox. Here's the Legend of Calenhad, Chapter 2. Calenhad is the great hero that united Ferelden a long time ago. With the allegiance of Arl Mirden, Calenhad began his rise to greatness. Actually, I might skip that until we actually have the first chapter of The Legend of Calenhad, just to sort of go in order, have it make more sense. We read that note. The Black Vials, right. This is just a sort of verse binding the first corpse walker. This is the revenant that we fought in the chapel at the Circle Tower. Let the dead no longer serve your whim. Bound by your true name, no mortal hand shall reach you. Kael Viazagat, revenant and perversion of an only son. Death beyond death is no longer your stepping stone through the veil. Andraste hold you, demon, and bind your rage for eternity. 6 thumbprints in blood mark the end of the text. Interesting. Correspondence Interruptus. This is fun. These are a collection of embarrassing personal communications between the spoiled, wealthy, and their objects of obsession. A delicate matter. While I am overjoyed at the prospect of having you, an unwelcome guest requires that you excuse yourself by the postern of my estate to avoid a mark upon our reputations. Desire and need. I'm not even sure where this came from. Notice of censure. Templar Drass, your remarks in front of the recruits are only the latest in a series of troubling events. I am beginning to suspect that you may not be suited to the devotional requirements of training. Perhaps it is time for a personal evaluation of your career path within the Templars. I will schedule some time after the current deployment to discuss options elsewhere in the organization. Attendant Sarand, assistant to Knight Commander Gregor. A note is scribbled in the corner. Attendant who? Options? Code for dead-end duty on a hedge mage hunt in the Banorn. Promises of Pride. Oh yeah, these are little notes about Uldred that we found in the circle. Uldred will show us the way. Finally, recognition within the circle and freedom from the scornful eye of the Templars. We will not be shunned. Be ready. Enchanter Gravid, Libertarian. I have spoken to him directly. His intentions are that we will demand the Templars withdraw. I don't know that I am willing to follow, but I will be present to hear his argument. Enchanter Fonst, Equitarian. Madness. I doubt blood will be of use to you if it is flowing down the tower steps. Step away from this folly before it consumes us all. Enchanter Leuven, Loyalist. Yes, we learned how to shatter things, and I don't need to worry about controls. We learned all about that stuff, so that's cool. Quest-related stuff. That was the Summoning Sciences one. Friends of Red Jenny. Right, we found a note or something from Friends of Red Jenny. The task was never promised to be easy. You said you could enter the Circle Tower, and you were believed. Find the small painted box in First Enchanter Irving's office and deliver it to the door marked in Denerim as agreed, or be prepared to find yourself hunted across Ferelden. Friends of Red Jenny. There is a sketched map of several doors. It requires the box to be placed on it to block out false leads. Interesting. So we have to return this box in Denerim at some point to work through it or something, I guess. I don't know. Shah Weird, a collection of powerful but undirected thoughts coalesced in the Fade. Such a being is in direct opposition to singular focus and drive. Distraction made flesh. The mind or minds that loosed this within the Fade must have been powerful and ancient indeed. That has to do with the... That was the Watchguard of the Reaching. That was the quest in the Circle Tower that we did. Let's talk to some people. Let's talk to Shale. We have Shale in our party now. Let's talk to it. Shale.
I see it found some augmentation crystals.
I did.
I was not even aware it knew about them. Well done. So, what does it think? They don't make me look any wider, do they? I find I'm already too wide as it is.
I think they're so pretty.
They are, aren't they? I so adore them. I think it should find some more as soon as possible. I want to glitter from ear to ear, so to speak.
Naturally. And in fact, I think we even have some gifts that we can possibly give to people. Yeah, we do. We have a few. I believe... I believe Alistair would like this runestone.
I could get used to this, you know.
Indeed, he likes that. And Zevran actually likes these. This is a small gold bar. Zevran, sort of like Morrigan, also kind of likes shiny things, except that his shiny things are more obviously valuable, and that he likes just precious metals. So we're going to give this to him.
I shall treasure it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure you do like that. What else have we got here? There is... this. A remarkable greenstone. Shale, also in a way like shiny things. There's a lot of magpies in our party, I gotta admit. A lot of magpies. But, anything that's a remarkable gemstone of any kind, is something that Shale is gonna like.
Ooh, shiny.
Yep. She likes those. She. Did I spoil something? Shale's a girl, by the way. I mean, she doesn't necessarily consider herself a girl, or it. I don't know. I don't think Shale really cares too much what pronouns I use. Shale's never seemed to be terribly concerned about that. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't think I have any... Is this any better than what you have? Actually, it kind of is, yeah. Let's do that. That's a tier 4 light armor. Liliana, you're wearing the battle dress of the provocateur. You don't need anything better than that right now. Zevran, though. It's the same thing. Is it? Yeah, I mean, it pretty much is. That's alright. I'll sell it. It's fine. Oh, Alistair likes me again. Great. Okay, cool. Thanks, Alistair. I appreciate that. Basically, they get passives as you get higher approval ratings with them, so... see, Alistair is, well, he's plus 33. I think it's at, like, every 25 points they gain a passive. So, I think... I wonder if it's here. Wait a second. It might be spells and talents or skills. Yeah, I think it's skills. Yeah, here it is. And it's under plot skills. So, all of them get things like these that basically just boost their stats. So, this is a passive that boosts his constitution a little bit. And as I get higher and higher approval, he'll get more of these. So I think it's every 25 approval points. So he'll get another one at 50, another one at 75, and another one if and when I reach 100. And all of the companion characters do this. They get stat boosts, basically, for high approval. So yeah, let's move on to somebody else. Let's go around to Morgan. We'll say hi to Morgan. Why not? She already gave us her request to kill her mother, but maybe she'll have something else for us.
I await your command.
I would like to ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
Oh, yes. Have you ever been hunted by the Chantry?
My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were.
Indeed.
Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Fun? You found it fun?
I found the game fun. I was too young to understand the truth behind what was happening. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait, a little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Flemeth used you as bait?
'Twas a game, and I a young girl. If I didn't get to play, I would have been very upset. Thankfully, the Wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
Huh. What exactly is an apostate?
You do not know? The Zealots use that word for any magic they do not control.
I'm just interested in her
Chantry
perspective on it.
sees any mages not leashed to the circle of magi as apostates. And apostates could become maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true. Still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
Yeah. Meaning what? We'll fight you to the end?
I will note that we only ever defended ourselves. But if they wish to come for us, certainly. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
Huh, she disapproved. I'm sorry, Morgan. Ariadne is a little bit, she's a little bit skeptical of that. Because, of course, she's been raised in a context to believe that, anyone not leashed to the circle, in Morgan's words, is potentially very dangerous. Any mage. The magic is pretty abundantly dangerous in Thedas. And Ariadne seems pretty well aware of that fact. So it makes a certain amount of sense. But let's move on. We really haven't had a chance to talk to Zevran. Let's talk to Zevran.
Here I am.
Yeah. Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Is it? I don't know. Tell me a little about Antiva.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva?
I think she's just very curious about the world.
The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there.
Probably.
It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
And it has assassins.
Every land has its assassins. Some are simply more open about their business than others. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
I'm not from any glittering gem, no.
No? That is too bad. If you were, then surely you would spend as much time boasting about it as I do.
Probably.
You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
Yeah, this I have to hear.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates.
That sounds terrible.
I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home, more than anything else.
Wow. You sound like you've been away from home forever.
Oh, not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly.
Aww.
Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. But I was a fool to leave them.
I see.
I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Your home is still there, Zevran.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful Grey Warden, a woman who then spares my life? I could not.
Yay. Now you're flattering me.
I say you are beautiful because it is true. Should I not?
No, by all means.
And glad I am to hear it. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
You mean you're not tired of... You mean you're sick of our gray Ferelden gruel at this point. Like, that's a shame, Severin. Just don't appreciate fine Ferelden cuisine. Yeah, I mean, you're quite a charmer, though. You're quite a charmer. I think Ariadne's a little bit too tactful to, constantly bring up the fact that he was hired to kill her. Like, if he's ready to put it behind him, then she's ready to do the same, and that's okay. And, she's alright with being a little flattered by him once in a while. I don't know if she really would go for him. He's maybe a bit too worldly for Ariadne's tastes. He's pretty worldly. And while that's, that has a certain appeal to it, I think Ariadne's the kind of person who would probably just be like, I think she would prefer someone a little bit more earnest, I think. Let's talk to Wynne. Hi, Wynne.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
No. The ones in the tower were the first I've ever seen.
The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
I agree, that's really scary. But it is this knowledge that drives you to be cautious.
One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back. Or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured.
What an interesting question.
Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity. Their humanity.
That's a really fascinating question, and something I think that Ariadne has probably never considered before in her life, because circles just don't teach things that way. Like, you learn that when someone is possessed by a demon, they become an abomination, and you have to kill them, and that's that, 1, 2, 3, and you're dead. So I think that's something really interesting to bring up with Ariadne, especially at this early point in the franchise, because who knows if that could become more relevant later on. No spoilers. But so I think, she's really sort of confused by the suddenness of this kind of discussion that Wynne is bringing up with her, but at the same time, she finds the thought really interesting. And I think ultimately she would say that if one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination. It seems like it's pretty cut and dried to her, from her perspective at this point.
Yes. It is madness and cruelty that define abominations.
Yeah.
If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination.
I think so.
I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
Sure, Wynne. Sure. I'm always happy to help there, friend. Always happy to help. Yeah, great. Good stuff. I mean, good talk there, friend. Liliana?
Have I ever told you I really like the way you wear your hair?
Really? It's so stubborn sometimes.
It's very nice, and it suits you. Simple. Not like the elaborate hairstyles we wore in Orlais. They involved flowers, ribbons, jewels.
I did not know we were this far yet.
Feathers were all the rage, and Lady Elise decided she needed to outdo everyone else, and actually wore live songbirds in her voluminous hair. The chirping was quite charming for a while, but you must realize, terrified little birdies often have loose bowels.
Oh dear. Poor birds.
Yes, I don't envy them. She never washed her hair.
Yikes.
But I was trying to say something nice to you, wasn't I? Oh, forgive me. My mind wanders so. It's just that I feel so comfortable talking to you. Like I could say anything and you wouldn't judge me.
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. I was not expecting to get this quite so soon, but this is actually the start of Liliana's romance, if you choose to take it. However, I'm probably not going to romance Liliana. I do really like the character, but the romance, for a number of reasons, doesn't really do much for me. So I'll probably just keep her as a friend. But it's interesting that I did not realize I was so far along in the relationship path with her already. But but I think Ariadne's a little bit oblivious. Like, this is a pretty subtle way of. I mean, admittedly, Liliana, this is a pretty subtle way of flirting, especially after Zevran just going, "Oh, you're so beautiful, ha ha ha." So I think Ariadne, aside from not being particularly interested in Liliana in that way, is also probably pretty oblivious to the very subtle flirtation going on here. So she'd probably just say, "Well, we're friends, aren't we?"
Yes, very much so.
Yes.
I haven't felt this close to anyone in a long time. I really enjoy your company.
I'm so glad. Yeah. You are a treasured friend, Liliana.
Thank you. I am honored that you feel that way.
I appreciate the fact that I don't have to either, like, say, "Oh my gosh, I'm not interested in you," or lock in the romance now. I can literally just say, "Yeah, I like you as a friend. That's great. We're cool." As opposed to, like, having to either, like, flirt with her back or utterly reject her completely. Like, that's a good way to do it. With any character who's a potential romance, having the ability to just be like, "No, let's be friends. I'm good with just being friends." Like, I don't want to hurt your feelings because I like you, but I don't like you in the way of 15-year-olds. So yeah, that's great. Awesome. I think we're about out of time now, though, so I'm going to probably end this episode here, even though we still have a couple people I want to talk to. But that's okay. We can talk to them next time, and then we might start a quest. I don't know. Maybe we'll actually, like... I'm not sure yet if I want to go to Denerim, or... I mean, I suppose we could just go ahead and, we could go ahead and start the Arl of Redcliffe. We could go to Redcliffe. We did Broken Circle. We've recruited Shale. So we could probably just go ahead and go to Redcliffe and get that going. So yeah, we might do that. But I still want to talk to a couple more people too. So yeah, as always, if you like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Later.